Good morning and happy Friday. It is January 5th, 2024, and I want to be the first one here on this show to say Happy New Year to all of you guys. Hey, good news is you made it. Bad news is, man, 2023 took some chunks out of some people on the way through. I was kind of excited to get into 2024 just because 2023 was now over. There's just so many crazy things going on. The good news is, this is becoming the new norm, and we're going to be shifting gears and talking about how to be successful in 2024. We've got a great show lined up for you today, talking to Holly Mabry, VP of Broker Operations, also Lauren Coleman, VP of Broker Operations Extraordinaire. And then we're going to finish off the show today with the content section with Don Hobbs. This guy is absolutely amazing, coach, teacher, trainer, nationally renowned guy in the real estate business and attached to some really big names over the years. We're going to have a chat with him about talking about how to go into 2024 to take business to the next level. So with that said, we're going to kick off today with Holly Mabry and Lauren Coleman, both VPs of operations. The good news is this time I remembered Lauren Coleman's name. I'll tell you that story in a second. You're going to love this. All right, Holly, Lauren, come on down.
Oh, Russ.
Hey, Russ.
You.
Oh, no, it's always fun. I love being here.
You gotta have a good time. You gotta have a hard time. So listen, a lot of people say to me, Russ, I don't know how you do what you do. Like, I would be too afraid to make a mistake. Listen, Holly, did you hear the story about me introducing Lauren?
No, I haven't heard this one. Of all the magic, I've missed this one. So please.
In New Orleans, and listen, I'm out myself on this thing, right? In New Orleans, we're doing our thing. Lauren shows up, amazing, of course, love Lauren. And I'm introducing him. I'm on stage doing this kind of intro thing, and I'm like, we've got Will Higgins, and we've got blah, blah, and we've got, and I look at Lauren when I said that, and I pointed straight at her, and poof, her name went out of my head. And I'm like, we got Vice President of EXP here.
No, it was so funny. I was like, yeah. I'm like, wait. I was like, oh, did he forget my name? I said, should I stand up? Should I do something? I was like, hey,
Gracious. She was gracious enough not to go like, my name is Lauren Coleman.
hey, we're vibing. I was like, it's okay. It can happen to the best of us. See?
It just happens. Like, don't be afraid to mess it up. We just roll with it, right?
Look,
right.
We have a standard rule in our house that if we walk into a group of people and I don't introduce my family, they know to insert themselves because I've forgotten something. So y'all, if that happens and we're in an event and you get to meet Jen, like, just know that I had a momentary lapse of reason. So yes,
it happens to us all. But like, just move forward. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. I mean, 2024 is about getting out there and doing some stuff. You're going to break a couple things here and there. I mean, like, if that's the worst thing we do, I mean, I'll owe Lauren probably forever on that one. But with that said, she's not holding a grudge, I don't think.
Not at all. Not at all. I think we all forget things. Like, I'd be a hypocrite if I, like, shame on you, Russ. Like, no, I'm not that great at it either. So yeah.
All right. So I get no mulligans. She's got a mulligan.
So this is what I would say as you look at 2024, and that's why Lauren and I were so excited to come spend some quality time with you, Russ, and everybody out there. We're looking at 2024 as that year of opportunity, and 2023, it was a little itchy, scratchy, a little sandpaper on the way out. But as we look at the new year, I think what we see is so many opportunities and we're turning a fresh page. And so as we launch the new year, we wanted to just jump right in and give you some tools and resources. Would that be all right?
Absolutely.
Put a happy in the chat if you're all right for tools and resources. Yeah. All right. So let's do this. We're looking at this year really having some innate opportunities because we've been having a lot of conversations about what's going on in the marketplace. How do we take care of buyers at that higher level? And so we're so excited to be announcing today our buyer agent tools and resources. All right, so let's break this down. What does this mean to you? And check this out. So right now, really looking at buyers and sellers, we really want to drill in. What does it mean to represent a buyer? How do we take care of them? How do we have that conversation? Right? Because buyers, they may walk into an open house and then they may walk into another person's open house and another person's open house, and they're kind of like shopping services. This is what I will say. When you look at the National Home Buyer Seller Survey, 72% of buyers only interviewed one agent. One agent. Right? Can you imagine if you're like, hey, and this is one of my favorite scripts. It's like, look, there are a lot of buyers agents out there who would love to represent you, but you know what? This is what representation working with me means to you.
Yeah.
And when you're ready, I would love to be your agent. Oh, by the way, don't share anything that could be used against you in a negotiation. Wait, what? And that, because it gets down into agency and all the really cool stuff. Now, this is what I love. Lauren, you've got some really cool things that the Marketing Center has helped us put together with our fantastic directors. Break this down.
Yes. So the buyer's activity flyer. So it's kind of like what Holly was touching on. This this is the time now more than any. Now, don't get me wrong. It's always been important for an agent to be able to properly communicate their value proposition, right? Why you want to utilize a buyer's agent. But, now more than ever, with everything going on in the industry, you need to be able to properly communicate those services and that value that you bring to the table. So that's one of the main purposes of this whole buyer toolkit. So the buyer activities flyer, you want to, present it at your initial buyer consultation, but it basically details the entire buyer home buying process for any potential buyer clients, right? And at the same time, it's selling your value prop. So as you see now, I'm sure you can't, you don't have a microscope, so you can't really see all the items that are listed out on that sheet. But literally, from the point of the initial buyer consultation, all the way to the end to post closing, it breaks down those processes. So it helps the buyer client to understand what to expect during the buyer consultation, during the negotiation phase, what to expect when our contract goes pending, the inspection phase, closing, post closing. So whether you have because it's important to know your buyers, right? Know their personality types. Whether you have that high C, detail-oriented client who will literally go through every single line item to check those services. You have a high D, where it's just like, okay, I get it. Like, yeah, you do a lot. I don't have time, nor the expertise, or the desire to do all of these activities. Yeah, let's work together, and so you can help me get this house. This buyer activities flyer will help you get those points across, and it is fully customizable. So you might go through those list of items and be like, okay, no, I don't really provide this service, or it doesn't apply to my market. Just go on and swap it out or put something else there. So great tool and resource.
I absolutely love that. Lauren, it's kind of funny because this story has circulated around quite a bit, and I've actually seen this live. Had a conversation with a listing, and the listing person's like, well, why didn't I get the listing? And the seller goes, oh, the other agent told me they were going to put it in everybody else's website, and it would be on front door and back door, left door, right door, doggy door. And if they pulled my house up anywhere in the country looking for a house like mine, my house would pull up even on the other company's websites. And you're like, well, that's just putting it in the IDX feed. But the agent hadn't explained what the IDX feed meant. They're like, we'll put it in the MLS versus like, here's what that means. And I love that this does exactly that. Like, we're going to take care of you. And here's what we do. Because nobody knows.
Absolutely. And so think of it this way. Any of you out there thinking about getting into video this year? If you want to get into video, those 30, 60-second videos of like, hey, does your agent do this? Hey, have you thought about, like, when you go to interview your agent, ask these 3 questions? This flyer is designed to be a prompt so you can explain the process and break it down. Think of it like a agency TikTok, right? I'm going to show you how to buy a house in 30 seconds or less. That's awesome. Because it's incredible power, especially as you start to see so many people are starting online. They want the convenience. They want somebody that they can trust, and they want different steps to the process. So if you're thinking about video, this is a great cheat sheet to get you started. And I know some people are out there like, Holly, I don't look good on video. I'm a little nervous about it. It's like, guys, I want you to know this. That's how you look in real life. Get over it. Keep going. It's going to be fine.
That's your
just
face.
saying. But we're not done yet. Lauren's got more. Check this out.
Cool.
Yes. So when it comes to the buyer services flyer, so the purpose of that is highlighting the expectations concerning your role as the agent and what you're going to provide to the buyer. So and again, I know you can't see all the little details, right? But like at the very top, it talks about representation and the importance, or the highlighting those differences between being a client of mine, or the of the buyer's agent, versus a customer, because we know that client, that means that the agent owes you fiduciary duties, right? Putting your best interest above their own. And that involves the use of a buyer representation agreement. That's why they're so important. And actually, Holly, weren't you on here recently talking about that? Don't we provide that
I'm
here?
so stoked to bring this back to you all, because we at EXP have put together a buyer representation agreement. It's available for all of you in your SkySlope. And so if your state or local association does not provide a buyer representation agreement, we have one for you. Now, if you've got one in your state that is coming down, like, I know I'm in Arizona. Arizona has one. Cool. Use either.
Yeah.
Totally your call. We support you. But as you go into this marketplace, why work for free? Why not help people understand your value up front? And it's kind of like taking a listing. I'm not going to put my sign in the yard without a signed listing agreement. Why would I put you in my car, drive you all over creation, show all of these different homes, and not have a pledge of performance for both me and you?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't we do that together? And in many states, we're seeing buyer broker agreements becoming required by law. Yeah. Washington's the most recent. So as a result, we wanted to have these resources for you. We want to help you build this new muscle or this existing muscle that maybe atrophied a little bit with the craziness of the market, and really start to pump you up, if you will, as you look at 2024. I know I'm just throwing all of the stuff in there for you.
That was, when you said pump me up, I'm like, I'm hearing the voice, I'm seeing the commercial or whatever.
Oh yeah, it's Hans and Franz, man. Right. That's a Saturday night callback. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Truly, when you think about your business this year, I want you to look back at last year. And Russ, you do this so great. Look at how many of your clients were listings, how many of your clients were buyers. What could you tweak? What's one thing you could tweak in the next 30 days? Because the interest rates, they came down over Christmas, man. It was our great Christmas present.
I love that.
Why not be calling all of those people that maybe put buying on the shelf last fall when rates went up? This is a great week to call them and be, hey, I'm thinking about you. I want to know where you're at, and I want to help you and your family accomplish your hopes, dreams, and goals this year, and let me know how I can help. So this is an opportunity. Take this year, start it off strong, start making those phone calls. And we've got the resources to help. This is all in the Agent Marketing Center for you. You can dig in and customize it, make it your own. If you've got your own branding and things like that, this is all in the Marketing Center. We want to help influence and impact your business as you grow into 2024. So if you need assistance, if you want to have more practice on the buyer broker agreement, stop by your state team offices, because your brokers, they're actually doing classes almost weekly on the buyer broker agreement and this kind of representation. And we only want to help.
Yep. And I will say too, also on that buyer services flyer, it does also talk about, shameless plug with the EXP exclusives, because when it comes to you working with your buyer clients, it gives them exclusive access to EXP exclusives, which is our EXP proprietary listing platform for both on and off market EXP listings. So you want to make sure that you're giving your clients the most highest value prop as you can provide, and no other agents outside of, no other agents except for EXP agents can offer them that resource and that tool. And I think we just had a meeting, was it earlier this week, when it comes to the registered agents. I think we're up to what, 5,300 or 5,800 agents who have registered for EXP exclusives. Now, so that's amazing. And now, of course, we want more, and they still continue to have those classes. So if you haven't already signed up and registered for the free EXP exclusive, now they do offer an upgrade, but it is available to all of our agents for free. You want to make sure that you're signing on and giving your buyer clients access to that tool.
You know what was so cool this week looking at EXP exclusives? I was able to, again, I'm in Arizona. I could see things in Portugal. I could see things in Italy. I could see things in Canada. I could see things in North Carolina, even in Lauren's hometown. So guys, we are global, and that is that's the power of EXP. So just come on this journey with us in 2024. Got a lot of cool stuff for you.
Yeah, go to EXP Workplace and type in EXP exclusives, and there'll be a bunch of little links that pop up there. That's a great way, easy way to find that, guys. Go Workplace or search at the top. That's my Google for EXP, everything EXP. People ask me questions all the time. I don't know the answer to a lot of stuff because there's so many great things. So I'm like, I just go in there, type it in Workplace, and it pops up and it's right there. I'm like, hey, look at this. And they're like, thank you so much. Sorry, that's how I cheat. I don't know. It works for me.
Yeah,
it's a good thing.
I mean, this whole thing is really exciting. It's the whole value prop, the buyer's kit, just like what Holly was saying, prepping for 2024. Hopefully everybody's already got their business plans and goals and OKRs set for 2024. But if you have not, it's okay. It's not too late. It's never too late to get started. And this whole presentation, this buyer's kit, can be a start off point or a jump
Love
off
that.
point.
Love that.
All customizable.
Fantastic. That is a great way to kick off 2024. A bunch of
Yeah.
tools to work in today's market, because guys, the world changed last year and it's going to change again this year.
Maybe just a little bit.
Oh,
Not
You know
really.
what?
I didn't know.
It's
I didn't notice.
opportunity. I see opportunity everywhere, man. Let's go.
Yeah. We're prepped, ready to rock and roll. So you guys hit 2024 with the tools you need to be successful, more successful this year than you were last year. I'm looking
Yes.
forward to an amazing year. You ladies are both fantastic human beings. I could not be any happier to work with both of you and harass both of you. And Holly Mabry, by the way, next week is my actual birthday. So I expect something big.
You know what? I am going to do everything I can in my power to celebrate your birthday in the wildest of ways, Russ.
All right.
It'll be
I'm looking
fantastic.
forward to it now, since the last time we celebrated it when it wasn't my birthday, it was
Right.
the wildest of wild.
Well, I love a good unbirthday. So
Yeah,
there
yeah.
we are.
Great practical joke. Again, you got me good. Still giving you props for that.
Right on, guys. Happy 2024. Let's go. It's going to be a great year together.
All right. Fantastic. So there you go, guys. These are vice presidents of the company, and they actually understand on the ground what real estate agents are doing, what they need. They're helping build this stuff out, and you can hear just the way they talk. They understand what you guys are doing on the ground, and they know how to do the job, which is pretty cool. So I love it when you're in a company with leadership that actually understands what the job is. That is phenomenal. And by the way, that's not everywhere. So we're blessed to have both of those VPs with us. They're just amazing ladies, and just love working with them. So next up, Don Hobbs. Don Hobbs is a co-founder and of Expert Partners. He is coaching extraordinaire and training extraordinaire. He is internationally known, by the way. Let's just grab him. Don Hobbs, jump on in here.
Dude, how are you? Russ.
If I got any better, there'd have to be two of me, brother.
I understand completely. And you always run high energy. I know you're having a great day because you're alive.
Yeah, dude. Well, like, it's the thing is, like, I choose to do this, right? And I choose to
You bet.
be me, and I choose to be, this isn't the character. This is just me when I'm getting a little bit excited. And I love doing this, right? So I'm super excited to have you here today. You've
Thanks,
been
buddy.
around some of the most amazing names in real estate for so many years in coaching, teaching, training, and just like, it matters who you rub elbows with, right? It matters
does.
what you're in. So 2024 is set to be, for the people that do the right stuff, it's set to be an amazing year because there's a bunch of people pulling turtle mode. So let's talk about the things we need to do in 2024. You know best. What do we need to be doing in 2024 to make sure that we pass all the turtles that are hiding? We'll pull it out, just get ready to rock and roll and go. And if we go, what are we going to do?
Well, first thing that comes to mind is some of what's happened is not just the turtles, because that's a bad thing,
Yeah.
but it's really the people that are leaving, right? It's the
Yes.
people that are going, I just checked out. It was easy. Now it's not easy. I'm out. It was easy. I don't have the skills, and I don't know what to do about it.
Right.
And that's sad because people's dreams have been crushed,
Agreed.
and nobody was there to support them. If
Agreed.
they'd been here, maybe we would have had a better chance. But I think the first point I would make is you got to stay committed. And commitment is the first step, because you really got to get to the place where then no matter what it takes, I'm committed. Committed isn't like,
Yes.
if it's convenient. Commitment isn't, sometimes commitment is, I'm all in. In fact, my article for this month in our newsletter is about being all in and not gambling your future in 24, but being all in. And when you push the chips in and go, dude, I'm all in. It's either, I'm going for broke, right?
Yes.
I'm all in, I'm going to win, or I'm going to win.
So this is start off like right out of the gate. And when I meet the best coaches, they always do the same thing, by the way. I don't know if you ever noticed this. All the best coaches start off with something mindset first. Let's get the brain going in the right direction first, get that going, and then the body's going to follow, right? So it starts up here with commitment. Number one, like, what am I in this for? Do you know a single real estate agent that got into this business to make less than $100,000 a year?
No, and that's the big number. 6 figures, man. I just want to make 6 figures.
Right?
I'm here to make 6 figures.
Yeah. So we've got turtles out there, pulled their head in the shell. We've got some flattened squirrels. Right. So they got flat squirrels, peel up. They're going out of the business completely. But we have to make a conscious choice. I mean, that mindset thing is, I will find a way, no matter what, I'm going to get the thing done, and I'm going to get to that, whatever I committed to my family, committed to myself to do. Right. And that's a commitment to yourself, number one. And it's a commitment to the people around you, because what you do affects everybody around you. $100,000 is a big deal in most families.
Yeah. I'll jump back. You said the people that I've hung around, and I've been fortunate because I started my career with Jim Rohn, And that was a good starting point. Tony Robbins and I, he was 17, I was 18. We started there. So I've hung around Tony. We've hung around with a lot of big speakers and all the people in the industry. What's interesting is, and I was thinking about this a lot because we're actually doing a book club right now on the Ninja Selling Book. And one of the things that he talks about, that, you know, Larry Kendall talks about, is the vibe, our vibration, our energy. And it's interesting because when we're rolling through a market like we just came out of, it's easy to level ourselves into a lull. And we find ourselves thinking we're pumped up, thinking we're in the same place, but we're not. We're flat. And nobody wants to deal with flat. Nobody wants to do business with somebody who's moderate. Nobody wants to do business with somebody who's, you know, just coasting. Nobody wants to do business with somebody who's low energy. It's like, I want to know you're on it. I want to know you're winning. I want to know that you know how to help me. And if you're confident in all of that, so the vibration is going to be such a big part of it. And that's all our energy. And we control that.
Yes. Hang on a second. Well, you know, man, I woke up and I just didn't feel like it.
Right.
Okay, then change it. Then change it, right?
Change it.
Like, I don't wake up in the morning ready to rock and roll, guys. I wake up in the morning, and everybody knows not to talk to me for the first hour or so. And it's not even a coffee thing or not. It's like, you know, sleep disorder for 30 years later. And like, I just don't wake up well. It's fine. But I know when I get to that certain point, it's flip the switch and it's time. It's time to be that person that I want to be. And that energy thing is like before the show. You see me bounce up and down before the show a little bit. I'm like, all right, getting ready to go, right? But energy is something that you can control. If your energy is low, get it back up. Hop up and down a couple of times, changes the way you feel. It's literally that simple.
And Russ, I'm going to add in, because you're so fun to deal with, because you run that high energy. I mean, every time I ever came across you, like, well, you were on my radar going, who is that guy? Who is that guy? But you always run that high energy. You impact people because of it. I'll go, you know, as we think about that, how do we get ready for our day and create a high energy game practice, right? Getting ready for my day. Game time is business time, 8 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock, whatever yours is. But how do I have that game time pre-ritual for the game time? So I walk in, I woke up one way, but I am totally in a different place now because I built a system around that.
Yes. Yeah, so a lot of people call that a ritual. So morning ritual, whatever that looks like. You know, Don, it's kind of funny because I'm not a morning person. I've never been a morning person. I'm more likely to be wide awake at midnight doing something interesting. But I'm not a morning person, right? So, you know, you got all these people are shaming the people that wake up late. Like, you know, the early bird gets the worm. And Don, let's be clear. I got a lot of worms that wake up late. Those sleepy worms, they don't want those morning people. They're like, leave me alone. So the worms that wake up late, I got them. And you can be successful that way, but you got to put the time in. It's not like you sleep in and then never get to the job, right? So you got to get up and have that, whatever that ritual looks like, right? So
whatever your time is, whatever time it is for you, it doesn't make any difference. But your game time, right? In basketball, it's 7:05 or 7:30. It depends on where. In football, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, right? It's game time. They don't need to be hyped up before. They need to be ready at game time. Right. They need to be in the moment. And I think that's what we miss, Russ.
Yeah. So having a specific start time, I think being an independent contractor is just kind of easy. Like, just take it as it comes. As opposed to like, Don, this is, I got my uniform on. When I throw this on, man, this is me 10 foot tall, bulletproof, rocking and rolling through the world. I'm going to go up. I'm out there to make a difference. You see me sitting in the yard with a cigar and a glass of wine and a hoodie. That's me chill mode, right? But when I got this on, this is game time mode for me. So pick a start time and stick to it, right? And build rituals around making sure you're there for that start time, whatever that looks like, whether it's 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. or 10 a.m., whatever it is. We had plenty of women that we had in the business. Like I'll name names, Madi Mendez, Rose Lo Cicero. One had 4 girls under the age of 11. The other one had four kids under the age of 2 boys, 2 girls. And they started their day for real estate at 10 a.m. They were at the office at 10 a.m. And now we can say at whatever you consider your office at 10 a.m. And they worked from 10 till about 2:30. And then they had to pick up the kids. And in that 4.5 hours, because they hit their start time, like it was like clockwork. I didn't even have to look up. I saw Rose pull in, boom, I knew it was 10 a.m.
Yep.
And that was her start time. And she hammered down for 4.5 hours and then went back and took care of the family. So pick a start time, get after it. Good. Love that.
I think to your point, the mindset is always going to be the start, because it impacts whether you learn, whether you get better, whether you're listening to Holly and using scripts. It affects everything. So it starts there, and then it's like, what else? What else? What else? What else? But again, high energy, and we make sure that we're tuned up, tuned in, and ready to rock and roll. Right?
Fantastic. Good. So now I'm tuned in, tuned up, ready to rock and roll. And what do I do? What should I do?
Yeah, I think there's, I can go two directions on this. I know that for me, and I think you know this, but I've been the big brand guy forever, right? We had Hobbs Herder Advertising and all that stuff. We built the brands for people. And I've always said, the way business works, not the way realtors operate always, but the way business works is that it's a marketing based, business is marketing based. Right. Nike's not calling you going, hey, I saw you running in those awful shoes. Nike, Kleenex doesn't call and say, hey, you need, whatever. So marketing to me is about, how do we get them calling us? How do we get them selecting us? How do we get them choosing us? So the reason I say I could go either direction is there's an element to where marketing takes time, with people asking questions about what should I be posting? What should I be this? What kind of video should I be doing? All that stuff. That's a great set of questions.
Sure.
But while I'm building that takes time for the brand to sink in and win, I still have to be back in production. I got to get into action on stuff that's now, right? I got to feed my family now while I'm building my fortune with marketing. So somewhere in there's two parts to it. Even when we had Tony Robbins, he and I, we were able to get Tony to build a couple of years back, and he kind of talked about my past. And he said, Don obviously knows the marketing stuff, but he said, the way I see it is there's two businesses we're always working on. One is our business, the future, and the other is the now, which is usually more like our sales career. It's more of the daily doings, right? Does that make sense?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So I got two different categories I pulled out of that. Is what is your now stuff? What are the activities to do now business? And then you've got to have those things going long term. I mean, this is no different than running a CRM, client relationship management system, your follow-up system. You've got follow-up for people that want to buy in the next 3 months, which is different than the follow-up, which is just staying in touch over the next 10 years. Don, did you know that the average American now is moving every 10 years? Used to be 6 on average. It has moved up to 10 because of a bunch of the stuff that's going on in the market, but it's now at 10. So if you're not thinking long term, you're going to miss a bunch of opportunities, right? So that's the CRM has to be set up, and your follow-up systems have to be set up to say, hey, I got to talk to and speak directly to the people that are doing something now, and I've got to make sure I've got stuff going in long term. So you want to throw me a couple of those tasks, marketing related now versus long term?
Yeah, I'll jump in on the market. Let's jump on the marketing side real quick, and then we come back to the other side, right? The daily doings. I think on the marketing side, there's first off, we have to decide about our marketplace in general. So I got actually 5 steps, and I know this could be a whole conversation, but let me just give you the 5 pieces real quick. Okay.
Cool. Yeah,
Number 1, you always start with your unique value proposition, your superpower. Like, who are you, and what do you want to deliver to the world, and what is it that people walk away and go, wow, I love the way she. Like, it's your natural state of the way you do business, right? What is that? And that has to do with your reputation. And by the way, I don't know how much it's crossed over, but in the success side, we had a guy, Rory Vaden, who had a great phrase about marketing. He said, branding is the digitization of your reputation. I love that phrase, right? It was like,
that's beautiful.
It's so good. It's so good.
Wow.
So on that side, we're looking at, first off, we got to know who we are. Then second thing is who they are, which means our target market. Who in the heck are we going for? And when I talk to realtors so often, the big challenge there, Russ, is that, who's your market? Everybody. Boy, if they can fog a mirror, that's my client. It's like, no, that's not true. And if it is true, you're going to be just an average agent, if average.
Yeah.
So the third part then, once we figure out who our target market is, I call it niche. And then of course, within the niche, you say, who's the avatar that I'm actually aiming for? And the avatar is really important, because the niche may be, seniors, but the avatar is the specific person I'm talking to. And that means when I'm doing what Holly was talking about, shooting a video, I'm thinking about that person. I'm talking to them. That's my avatar, right?
Yes.
And it could be a man and a woman. It could be a couple. It could be whatever it is in my niche. right?
Yeah.
But who are they? And actually, in the corporate world, they'll actually name them. They'll define them specifically because they're everything in their marketing is about getting to that person or that couple or that human being, right?
Yeah.
So,
Don, I've been in so many different networking environments, particularly when I was younger, and having to do that to build my business. And it was interesting because I started this conversation. It was something through I don't know if you've ever met Jeffrey Gitomer.
Sure.
Gitomer's got some. I just love his simplicity on stuff. Like you just read one page, you're like, bam, locked it, right? And one of the things that was interesting in the little black book of connections that he had. I know you got the books around there somewhere.
I was going to look over here. It's a little red book, a little yellow book.
Yep. So it was, so I started asking the question, like, what does a good customer look like to you? Like, if I was to, what does a good referral look like to you? So you and I meet and they're like, blah, 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 back and forth. I'm like, Don, what are you looking for? Like, what does a good referral look like to you? Because if I bump into somebody while I'm rolling around, now the both of us are looking for the same thing. And if I bump into them, I'll drag them over to you and introduce you to them. And people go, oh my gosh, that's really amazing. Like, that's really nice of you, Russ. I'm like, they didn't know. So then I'd have a conversation about getting them clear on like, what does that look like? You're out networking and you don't even know what you're looking for. Well, how the heck are you supposed to find it, right? So get really clear on what you're looking for. What is that flavor that you're looking for? So I love that. Brilliant. Good. Avatar.
You know what else? The avatar is really an important part, but I think, Russ, this is the lesson really on the marketing side. The next part is strategy. Yeah. And then, so once I know who I'm going for, what's my strategy for getting to them, right? So that's going to be the next part. But we can't have a strategy for getting to everybody because nobody can figure that one out. Nike can't figure that one out, right? Agreed. So
not everybody wears shoes.
Not everybody needs those shoes. That they're forte, right? So the strategy becomes, so these three things, and I just want to point this out because as our viewers, our watchers, the people in the auditorium and those that are watching on YouTube, as they're going through this, those three things are almost always absent. When you talk to most realtors and they get into real estate, what do? They jump to number 4, which is tools. Right. What should I send? What should I post? What video should I do? Well, that's all number 4, which is the actual tools. Yeah. Well, that's great. But if you don't have the target market defined, you don't have a clue what your strategy is for getting to them, then everything seems like a good idea and nothing is truly a good idea.
Yeah, right? So you're going shotgun style. So amazing. Yeah. Hey, by the way, you just mentioned, we are live on YouTube. So if you guys are on YouTube right now watching this, you like this, hit the like and hit the subscribe. Forward this out to somebody you guys love. So make sure you subscribe to our channel here so you can get more of this when it pops out. So strategy and tools. So it's kind of interesting, Don, because we talk about watch the way people do business and they go shotgun technique. And they're like, yeah, but Russ, if I go down to a laser, but then I've only got that one little thing. And what if I miss other things? I'm like, listen, no, you can get a bunch of lasers and you get the right lasers and you start stacking them up. And then you get this laser cannon, right? You're more likely to hit what you're aiming at, right? By getting that laser going. And then you can add more lasers to that and reinforce that thing. So it really is important to understand that it's better for you almost across the board to get more laser focused and more specific and find your tribe, find your flavor.
Totally. And by the way, it creates value. It actually allows you to increase your rates. I mean, it makes you above and beyond everybody else because you are the expert at whatever it is they think they need.
Yeah. Well, we see this in the doctor business, right? You got general practitioner and they don't make doodly squat compared to a specialist, right? So this is the difference between general practitioner and specialist, is making sure you get very specialized. That doesn't mean you can't take other people's business. And by the way, other people that are outside of your tribe are still going to be more attracted to you because you got a flavor and you've got a high level of success in that. They'll assume you do a good job on the other stuff too. So I think it wins all the way across the board. I love that you pointed that out. Brilliant. Very well done.
Hey, the fifth and final one, and then we'll jump to the other stuff because this is where you would assume once you get all this stuff done, you got to execute. It's the implementation. It's how much, how often, it's the plan. Yeah. But the first 4 of the 5, and literally the first 3 of the 5 are the ones that nobody ever goes to. These are the ones that are void in the marketplace. Yes. Then we get to number 4 and we go, okay, now how many postcards should I send? What should be on my postcards? Who cares? It doesn't matter. You don't know who they're going to. You don't know who they're impacting. You don't, what's your post about? What are your videos about? I mean, that's the crazy part. We just shoot stuff and do stuff. And it's like, for what?
Yeah. Yeah. Don, I'm driving super fast, man. I'm doing 120 miles an hour. And like, where? You're like, I don't know.
Where? Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So I think that's one piece. And I see, I love the way you divided that out. And on the other side, we've got this, what do we do in the business? And I was reading one day that apparently a realtor has 184 things. If you ask the NAR, they said we got 184 things that we could do, as a realtor. These are 184 things we can perform for our clients. I'm like, you can't get close to 184 things. You better have just like a handful of things that you really work on, right?
Yes.
And on that side, it's like we got to have more conversations. And if we want to talk about what 24 is going to be about, is about having a lot more and a lot better, higher quality conversations.
Yes.
And something that I took away from, I think it was triggered by something Holly said, but I've been talking to my clients about it. And that is right now. I mean, we could have done it before the holidays, a good time, before Thanksgiving, a good time. But now we've got New Year's. It's a great time to call people and go, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I was thinking about you. Happy New Year. Be a human being. Call them.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, you know what the fun part is? It's like a lot of people are like, whoa, I missed the holidays. Guys, listen, there's so much noise during the holidays. Nobody is sending post-holiday stuff out. You ever seen a post-holiday card? Hey, you survived the holidays. Just want to say Merry Christmas. I know you're busy. I will tell you what, if you send a holiday card or a New Year's card out now, I guarantee you that's the only card that's going to be sitting on their table for the next 30, 60, 90 days.
Yep, you bet.
That's brilliant. I love that. More conversations. So let's get specific on more conversations, because we're like, hey, Don, how much money do you want to make? And you're like, more. Okay, here's $1. Like, what does more mean? Is that like 5 a week, 5 a day, 5 in the morning, 5 in the afternoon? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, if we get people who are going through their, and by the way, the database, the people that you already know, like, and trust, who know, like, and trust you, like, let's not worry about the cold calling. Let's not worry about getting rejection. Let's just talk to people that we already know, like, and trust. And if you can do that and knock that out in, each month or every other month, depends on how long you've been in the business, what your database looks like. And by the way, you can also use things like a slide broadcast or something like that, where you can drop an apparent conversation into a voicemail and have a good impact without actually having to make any of that time. So again, there's some cool stuff we can do.
So that's slide dial or
slide dial. Yeah, slide dial, slide broadcasts are come out of the same company. Yep.
So guys, if you haven't heard of slide dial, you can actually drop voicemails directly into people's phone. Their phone doesn't ring, but a voicemail appears on their phone. Have you ever gotten a voicemail and you're like, my phone didn't even ring? There are times when your phone connection just sucks, and that's it. But there are intentional things, and we can do this in business, where you can actually leave somebody a voicemail so you don't end up with them picking up the phone and get stuck on 20 and 30 and 40 and 50 minute conversations. And you can drop that out to 40, 50, 60, 80, 100 people at a time. Hey, it's Russell. I just want to touch base with you real quick and leave you a voicemail saying Happy New Year. I know the New Year's and the holidays were crazy, so I always do this after the New Year when you guys are starting to get back into the groove of things. I just want to say Happy 2024. Let me know if you need anything this year. Hopefully we can chat sometime in the near future. Give me a call if you want.
I've even been setting people up, Russ. I've even been setting people up for, financial advisors will do like a once a year annual review. We should be doing an annual review with people. It'd be a simple process, right?
Yes.
I just want to get together and talk about your future in real estate. Doesn't mean this year, just whenever. I want to be part of that.
Yeah, Don, the verbiage I've been using a lot, and I've been teaching and training a lot on also, is when I'm meeting people, I was like, listen, if you had a stock that was $500,000, you kind of want to look at what it was worth once in a while. So, hey, if you want to just have a quick chat about what your property's actually worth, you don't have to sell it today. Just saying, you probably need to know that for your net worth. Let me know. We can reach out and give you a specific number versus a guess online. Sound good?
Yeah.
People are like, that's a great idea, actually. Because they need to know the number. This is part of their financial health and wealth, is knowing what that number is. You don't have to do anything with it. At least you know what the number is.
Hey, let me give you one thing on that. And I just thought of something that we didn't talk about on the other side. And I want to drop it before we leave, because I know we're getting close on time. So when it comes to this side of the conversation, when we get engaged in a conversation with a human being, and it's a human conversation, not a real estate conversation per se, and we say, how are you doing? What's going on in your world? And then they turn around and go, what's going on in your world? And go, wow, the real estate market right now, it's been a little complex. There's so many advantages and some great opportunities right now. What part of the market is most interesting to you right now? And that question gets them to dive into the real estate piece, right? And gets them to give me nothing or we're thinking about listing our home. We're thinking about, buying an investment property. We're thinking about a second home in Kansas. We're thinking about whatever. I don't know why you have a second home in Kansas, but what the heck? I know. Sorry, I just offended a whole bunch of Kansas people.
Those Hawkeyes are loyal. You got to watch out for them. It's okay, man. What people in Kansas are saying is, hey, you guys stay out because you don't realize how beautiful Kansas is. There are parts of Kansas that are stunning by now. And it's a secret, and they don't want anybody to know, so they're fine with it.
That's fun. That's super fun.
Love my Kansas people.
Hey, Russ, I want to say one last thing, and that is the AI thing. Again, we could go on for so long on this. We could have an 1.5-hour conversation or 3-hour conversation, but AI is another big piece on the marketing side. I would say it's absolute. I would say on the sales side, it's absolute. It'll help everything you do. It'll help you on every part of your business.
Yeah.
And we put together a course, and I think we did it for EXP, but we have the workbook, and the workbook would be a cool thing for people to get because it's got prompts, prompt engineering, lots of cool stuff related to how do we use AI. And it's not just for property descriptions. I mean, there's everything can be
how would I get my hands on that?
I don't know if we've got it in the chat, if somebody's got it in the back, but we had a link for it. So if we don't have it, I might be able to get to it real quick. Let's see if I can.
Okay.
I don't know how to put it up.
Don't worry about it. We can drop it in World, and we can also have it thrown in the comments on YouTube so that they have the ability to grab a hold of that thing and run. So check out, I love that. They check out the whole back end on that in YouTube. You'll check in the comments, and we'll have the link in there so you can find that workbook. AI is becoming a force, and you got to get some understanding of it. So might as well cheat and take the shortcut and utilize the tool that you built, which I love that. So thank you very much for that. I always love it when you add value. Don Hobbs, fantastic conversation, brother. It's a pleasure to know you. Our first conversation was fun, and our last conversation with your group was fun. I'm enjoying getting to know you, and thank you for all you do for everybody around you. Okay.
We love having you in our world, Russ, and thank you for allowing me to be here. And I'm excited for everybody's 24. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Do you do this one too? Do you do this?
No, I've got mine turned off, by the way, because I do a lot of hand signals and flying my hands around, and mine just turns into nonsense, and it's weird. And when somebody's sad and you got things going off, it's not good.
Not good.
All right, sir. Have a good one. Pleasure.
Thanks, buddy. Thank you.
All right, there you go. Don Hobbs, coach extraordinaire, has been around with the stars, and guys, lots of great stuff on there. It's just think about just grab one of those pieces, one of those nuggets, and start to run with it. You don't have to do it all. Just grab one nugget and run with it. All right, there you go. NPS survey coming up. So grab your phones, hit the QR code there. Let us know on a scale of 1 to 10 how we did. Give us a rating. Let us know if you love what we did. Give us a good score. If you need something done a little bit differently, you want to see something different, don't hesitate to throw a comment in. We also take suggestions. So give us a rating, give us a suggestion, and we're happy to try to add some stuff to the show to make it better every single week. And that's all for our show today. I want you guys to stay tuned for iConversations coming up. 5 icons going to be talking about what's going on in their playbook, showing you guys how to take your business to the next level. Stay tuned. Coming up next, iConversations. See you guys next week.